The golden cradle of Kazakhstan's statehood. This is the nest from which our independence soared and Kazakhstan became known to the entire global community. And this is roughly what the president of the country, Nursultan Nazarbayev, said about the city 20 years ago. We're at the foothills of the Trans-Alia Latau, where the city of Almaty is located, comfortably surrounded by the mountains. Hello, my name is Oleg Boldarev, and you're watching The Route to the Future. Today we're going to find out how the industrial heart of the southern metropolis beats and how the revival of the Great Silk Way is affecting its rhythm. Almaty is the largest city along Kazakhstan's section of the New Silk Way. It has a population of 1,716,000 people. Out of them, 190,000 are foreigners, who are here for business purposes. In addition, every year the number of potential investors who consider Almaty as a city where it would be worthwhile to invest their funds is growing.
Open borders and open currency and open movement of capital is the most important thing. And from that, the market will take care of itself. I cannot say, let him in because he's good at trading bonds. It doesn't work that way. You just let people come and they find opportunities for themselves when they're here, and that leads to a successful financial market.
There is another factor at hand which contributes to improving the investment attractiveness of the city. A core is being established here of the so-called Almaty agglomeration. Within the framework of this process, the southern metropolis has become the center of attraction of small cities and populated areas, which, considering Kazakhstan standards, are quite close to it. The biggest are Talgar, Issyk, Kaskilen and Kavshagay.
Алматинская агломерация, то есть это не тоже, существенный рынок, да, то есть это практически больше 2 миллионов человек.
The Almaty agglomeration represents a substantial market of more than 2 million people if we count the city and the adjacent populated areas. The geographic location of Almaty will play a great role in this respect, and this is the foundation on which we want to base our further development.
Какое-то дальнейшее развитие, да, то есть и наше расположение, то есть расположение города Алматы в этом отношении, конечно, будет играть огромную роль.
The high economic rating of the city also speaks of its business activity. According to analysis of a reputable American business publication, Financial Post, in 2015 Almaty was included into the list of the top 10 cities of the world with the fastest growing economy. Kazakhstan's southern metropolis was ranked 10th, surpassing Moscow and Warsaw. The geographical location of Almaty, which in fact puts it at the center of the Central Asian region, the Great Silk Way, this concerns China, Europe and Russia. Almaty is very well positioned. It is very favorable for business activity. Almaty is the main financial donor in the country. Every third tenge that comes into the national budget comes from here. And by the way, the city's macroeconomic indicators are comparable with some of the nearby countries. The gross regional product of the southern metropolis is 8.5 trillion tenge. This figure exceeds the gross domestic product of 3 CIS countries, Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan and Armenia. 1,500 industrial enterprises operate here. 156 of them can be classified as large and medium enterprises. What's more, a large share of them are focused on the use of modern technologies and production of goods with improved characteristics.
Today,
the advanced world is trying to produce goods that are environmentally friendly. The term green economy reminds us of this, and the enterprise Allegium Electric is also trying to work in this format. In Almaty, this is the Allegium Electric plant. Here, transformers that are not harmful to the environment are produced. Manufacturing of dry transformers holds a special place in the production line of this enterprise. It was established in August of 2008. And by the way, that was when the qualitatively new stage started, not just for this plant, but for the entire sector which specializes in the manufacturing of transformers.
Вместо масла, которое испаряется со временем потихоньку и загрязняет воздух,
instead of oil, which evaporates and over time pollutes the air, a dry transformer is used and a special compound, which is emission-free. In this respect, we can offer a good solution for the green energy and green economy.
Мы можем предложить для зеленой энергетики, для зеленой экологии очень хорошее решение.
Coming up next, who's who on the competitive market and what does Almaty have to offer to the world?
Экспорт – это один из основных показателей конкурентоспособности.
Export levels are one of the main indicators of competitiveness. In this respect, Almaty is first in the country. More than 40 industrial enterprises export their products abroad. The main share of exports, 38%, are from the machine building sector. And in descending order, food industry, 18%, light industry, 10%, and 5% of exports come from the pharmaceutical and chemical city-based industry.
5% приходится на фармацевтическую и химическую сферы городской экономики.
In 2015, export-oriented enterprises of the city supplied around 90 types of products to the countries of the Near and Far East, in the amount of 1.32 trillion tenge. Among the large Almaty exporters, there are some of the oldest machine-building giant plants, which at some time had the status of secret and closed enterprises. This also includes this heavy machine building plant. It initially operated for the defense sector, but over time it changed its specialization. Nevertheless, the reorganization of production did not impede it from continuing as Almaty's city-forming enterprise.
Строительство мостов и других крупногабаритных металлоконструкций.
The construction of bridges and other large metal constructions. This heavyweight specialization, which not every enterprise can handle. In Kazakhstan, only one plant manages this type of operations, Belkamit.
Его площадь 90 тысяч квадратных метров.
Its total territory, 90,000 square meters. It is intended for the production of custom-based products, which takes up a lot of space. Here the metal is smelted, processed, and then used for the making of complex mechanisms and other structures. Belkamit is part of the SGT Group holding, and together with another enterprise, Atarauneftimah, which is located in the west of the country, more than 3,000 kilometers away from Almaty, they form a specialized tandem. The two plants process more than 10,000 tons of steel per year. That is why Belkamit plays a strategic role not just for the industrial development of the city, but the entire machine-building sector of the country.
Atarauneftimah изготавливает крупногабаритное тяжелое оборудование.
Atarauneftimah produces large heavy equipment, and we design that equipment and make separate parts. This is our approximate market distribution. Belkamit delivers the products to the east and north of Kazakhstan, and of course the south, and to the west, Atarauneftimah.
Безусловно, юг, а запад Atarauneftimah.
With the help of the products of this enterprise, railway bridges were built in Almaty along the Zhytomyr-Khorgos line and in Astana, and our cable bridge over the Ishim River. Today, the plant is working on a unique project for the Institute of Nuclear Physics, which is located near the Alatau Park of Information Technologies.
Интересный проект по капсуле для ядерного реактора.
This is a very interesting project on the nuclear reactor capsule, and it is made out of pure zirconium. We have a license for the production of atomic energy, and from time to time we realize such projects.
И время от времени мы выполняем вот такие работы.
Coming up next, some details on export products and how are the winds of change working to the advantage of these enterprises. Outside, it's almost 30 degrees, and here where the work is in full swing, it is even hotter. A ventilator would be good here, especially since I know where commercial ventilators are produced in Almaty. And here it is cooler, and it's not surprising. The power capacity of the ventilators which are set up here is enough for industrial production. By the way, the plant where we are right now produces 70% of office and industrial ventilation from the entire volume of Kazakhstan's production. The range of products of Almaty's ventilator plant is quite wide, from industrial ventilators to fire prevention systems. The plant produces more than 100 product items, and a share of which is exported. We have Russia next to us, and there is a demand for our products. Last year we already started with trial shipments. This year we're starting bigger operations on the Russian markets. Statistically, this means a rise in exports to Russia from 15% to 50%. At the same time, the geography of shipments abroad is expanding. The South Korean corporation LG has expressed interest in the products of this enterprise. In practice, this turned into the launching of production of new air conditioning systems using the partner's technology. By the way, the offers from foreign investors were not limited to this. We concluded a memorandum with a British company on the production of ventilation equipment. This year, we're already working on more concrete details. The first agreements have been signed, and the necessary audits were conducted. And all of this is connected with the oil and gas industry. By the way, with the help of products of Almaty's enterprises, today not only oil is extracted in Kazakhstan, but also water, which is also considered to be a natural resource. At the same time, the equipment produced in the southern metropolis meets all international standards. The special feature of this enterprise is the focus on the leading producers of Europe, first and foremost the Italian company Pedrolo, which is considered to be one of the global leaders in the production of electric pumps. That is why the Almaty plant Kelet, contrary to, or perhaps thanks to the turbulence of the global economy, today is actively working on raising its labor productivity to the level of their Italian colleagues. What is the enterprise doing to achieve this? We're about to find out.
Акционерное общество «Келет» в 2014 году купило турецкую линию мойки фосфатирования.
The joint stock company Kelet in 2014 bought a Turkish wash for the washing of parts after phosphatization, dusting off of powdered paint in the electrostatic field. And the polymerization at a temperature of 100 to 200 degrees, we get a durable surface with a thickness of 35 microns. This provides the necessary protection of the details from rusting.
Толщиной 35 микрон. Это обеспечивает защиту деталей от ржавчины.
The use of high-tech equipment is one of the main requirements of production of competitive goods. This costs a lot of money, but is worth it. For example, the laser metal cutting unit cost the enterprise €1.5 million. But these expenditures justify themselves. The possibilities of this unit allow the enterprise to produce complex products with filigree precision.
Благодаря внедрению лазерной установки могли модернизировать.
Thanks to the introduction of this laser unit, we have been able to modernize the standard size of this boiler. In addition, we have cut out the parts, bent them, then boiled, painted, and made the electric air heaters of a rectangular shape.
Электрокалориферы прямоугольного вида.
Coming up next, the zone of new prospects, or how the industrial territory of Almaty will be expanding. To open up new windows for economic growth, create a favorable business climate for potential investors, connect all the communications and services on a single industrial territory. These are the expectations set for the project Industrial Zone. The place of dislocation, the Alatau district of Almaty. The zone is divided into 6 industrial sectors: the heavy and light industries, machine building, construction, chemical industry, and pharmaceutics.
Отрасль, строительство и машиностроение.
The basic requirement of this project is to create an optimal operational platform for Almaty's enterprises, current and new. The best-case scenario is that a cluster will be formed here for the production of competitive goods. Today the project is in the stage of building the infrastructure.
На этот год запланирована сдача в эксплуатацию инфраструктуры по водоснабжению.
For this year, it is planned to commission the infrastructure in water supply, draining, sewage, and gas supply. And also this year, we expect to finish the construction of the railway station.
Будет закончено строительство железнодорожной станции.
By the way, not just the seismic factors of the city were taken into account in the design of the zone, but also natural specificities like the landscape and the wind chart. This approach will allow to reduce to a minimum the influence of harmful emissions on the city's environment.
В этом году ожидаем только вот.
This year we're planning to commission 2 new objects on the territory of the industrial zone. This is the Almapak company. We're hoping that their construction and assembly works will be completed. The second resident enterprise, which is getting ready to establish itself on the territory of the industrial zone, will specialize in the growing of greenhouse vegetables. This is an absolutely new project, and in addition, it is intended for industrial volumes. That is why the city's authorities are expecting that the opening of a new greenhouse complex will contribute to the development of Almaty's production belt.
Bunun kurulusu 2015 жылы басталған.
The total area of the greenhouse complex is 12 hectares. Out of them, 5 hectares will be allocated for the growing of tomatoes and a similar area for cucumbers. In addition, we're going to grow sprouts on 1 hectare.
1 гектар жылыжайы бар.
Coming up next, which sector will make a greater contribution to the economy of Almaty and the treasury of the southern metropolis? 6 out of the 10 people that are of active working age in Almaty every morning go to a job that is one way or another connected with a small or medium business. More than 500,000 Almaty residents are employed in this sector. And if the share of tax revenues from the small and medium enterprises is summed up with the volume of revenues from the service sector, which is by the way also part of small and medium businesses, then the total contribution to the city budget of Almaty will make up almost 80%. That is why small and medium businesses are a big deal for the southern metropolis. In the southern metropolis, more than 180,000 small and medium enterprises are registered. Last year, the enterprises of the sector produced goods and services in a total amount of 4.2 trillion tenge, and the small and medium business sector, to a great extent, owes the 7% rise in the gross regional product to the regional financial support programs, including Jibek Joly. The volume of the portfolio of this program is 4 billion, 2 billion from the local budget, and Damo contributes 2 billion to this portfolio. And these 4 billion support the sectors that are of priority for the city. The program Jibek Joly is a city project. It is focused on entrepreneurs who are registered in Almaty and are realizing their business project on the territory of the city. And the program was designed taking into account two important conditions for the development of the city. First of all, the borrower is obliged to keep the currently existing and create new workplaces with an annual 1-unit rise. Second of all, the borrower has to increase their tax payments to the city budget by no less than 5% annually. Those who agree with these conditions can count on concession loans. And this is just what Alan Tsoy did. After deciding to get into entrepreneurship, he decided to open up his own business in the service sector. The loan of 5.7 million tenge that Alan received within the framework of the program Jibek Joly, he invested into the opening of his own beauty salon, and he used the franchise status to reduce the risk to a minimum.
Я долгое время работал в коммерческом банке, в частности в отделе малого и среднего бизнеса.
For a long time, I worked at a commercial bank, in particular in the small and medium business departments. And with the appearance of the Jibek Joly program, I found out that there is an opportunity to obtain financing for young entrepreneurs under the age of 29. In particular, beauty salons were included into the priority spheres. And this is how we got the idea of establishing our barber shop.
И тогда и зародилась идея создания нашего барбершопа.
A barber shop. This is what a specialized men's beauty salon is called, where men can get the full gentleman's treatment, a haircut, a shave, and a trendy tattoo. Next year, we're planning to expand across the territory of Almaty, as well as beyond, in other cities of Kazakhstan, where this will be perhaps a new sphere. And we're ready to take a risk.
Мы готовы пойти на риски.
A good gardener will grow beautiful flowers which are so well taken care of that it is a delight to look at them, and all because the gardeners know their own space and sphere of interest. And if this territory becomes their property, it will provide an additional stimulus to cultivate it, finding new owners for the objects of the state and quasi-state sector in order to give an impulse to the country's economy. With this goal, Kazakhstan started its new stage of privatization. Plants, airports, sanatoriums, football clubs, entertainment centers, and many other establishments were put up for auctions. And by the way, the biggest share of objects is awaiting new owners in the southern metropolis.
Центры, аэропорты, футбольные клубы и многое другое. Кстати, большая часть объектов ждет новых хозяев в южном мегаполисе.
Within the framework of the new stage of privatization, by 2020, 666 companies will be privatized in Kazakhstan. Out of them, 26 of the largest utilities companies are located in Almaty. According to the assessments of experts and expectations of city authorities, thanks to privatization, a competitive environment will be established in the city and new opportunities for development will emerge for private initiatives. Privatization will provide an opportunity not just for budget revenues, but overall for new management styles and modern technologies. I'm confident that open privatization will allow to improve the infrastructural climate of the city. And this means that despite the state of the global economy, Almaty will always have clear weather. A favorable atmosphere in the city will make a good incentive for the additional attraction of investments into the city. A city which is bidding for the status of a financial and logistics hub within the framework of the transport corridor, Western Europe, Western China. And so, I hope that you are now convinced the industrial and business rhythm of the country's biggest metropolis is keeping up with the times which are today tied to global prospects of cooperation and development within the framework of the New Silk Way. Until next time, en route, which is opening up new opportunities for Kazakhstan.
Новые возможности.